you for joining Carrie Rios and myself, Amber Tripp, as we adventure into this podcast series for the first time with Clark College Community and Continuing Education. So we wanted the opportunity to celebrate our instructors and kind of interrogate them as to what they are all about, what their classes are about, and how to get the community more involved in that. So without further ado, would love for you to introduce yourself, Tracy, and the name of your class, if that's cool.
My name is Tracy Reilly Kelly, and this fall I'm facilitating and teaching a class called Civics 102 Hot Topics.
Sounds like a hot topic.
Yeah.
So we can expect lots of crazy and interesting and fascinating and debating in your class, right? Or is it more like, give me the premise of give me a little bit about the class.
Well, I think you've got it.
Okay.
Interview over. What we are going to have is a series of absolutely extraordinary guest speakers. And every week there will be several guest speakers. And of course, I'll be happy in a further question to tell you a little bit more about who they are. They will be so special in their field. For example, Clark County Auditor Greg Kimsey speaking about elections, or Sheriff Chuck Atkins speaking about law enforcement reform. So each time there'll be so much information. And then at the end of the class, I'm actually going to do something special for students in this class. I am going to open up a third hour that is just going to be for those people who like dialogue and discussion. Because Amber, I'll have to tell you one thing. Many people love to talk about hot topics, and then some other people are like, discussion groups are not for me. And that's why this class is so extraordinary, because we have designed it to be just right for everyone.
Awesome. I love it. So let me ask you this, Tracy. What inspired you to teach this class or to have this class available to the community?
Well, I have experience in being a past program manager in continuing education. And by having that kind of relationship with students and reading evaluations, I actually am a lucky person because I know quite a bit about what it is that people ask for and what they like. And current events is always a class that is really well thought of. This particular class has a background. The reason it's Civics 102, there was a Civics 101, and there have been several of these classes on hot topics. So this is Hot Topics 2021 with the ones that are juicy right now.
Man, I mean, you could not pick a better year for having all fun, juicy hot topics. Good Lord. There's a lot of stuff to go over, I'm sure, in your class. How are you going to manage to keep it to only 5 sessions?
I'm trying to do too much. Any student who sees this, I'm guilty as charged. But I also think that people who are really deep learners, these are the kind of things that people really want to know about. Amber, we have somebody presenting, for example, on the Charter Review Commission that people will be voting for very much this November. Housing the unhoused, good Lord, everybody wants to know about what's current. And then we have the current people who will tell what the plan is about. There is an amazing police reform issue going on in our state. And the class, I have to tell you, so I want to tell you all the classes are like this. But when we talk about police reform, we're going to have Representative Sharon Reilly, prosecuting attorney Tony Golick, our own sheriff, Chuck Atkins, and a Vancouver Police Department administrator. So the very top cream of the crop. I want to tell you an interesting thing about Clark College.
Yes,
Clark College has a terrific reputation in the community. And when a person goes out and says, I wonder if you would be a guest speaker to speak to students at Clark College, you know what? Our community leaders want to, and they really respect the college and they jump at that opportunity. So that's a lucky stroke for those of us who are organizing.
That is, and I'm glad to hear that there are so many of the outstanding leaders in the community that will be participating in the class, because that would, I mean, you get basically right from the horse's mouth, right? You get the actual data and the information from the people who are right in the thick of it.
Yes, and I can't even possibly take all of the credit for this. I have been working with a group of individuals, and I had first met these individuals through the League of Women Voters. The class is really not a League of Women Voters class. The League of Women Voters is very nonpartisan and doesn't really get into saying one way or another. So people will be speaking from their own experience, but by knowing people involved in civics, we got some terrific energy going on in finding these amazing presenters. For climate change, for example, we're going to have a speaker from an organization called En-ROADS. And imagine this, you go to a class where somebody actually has a climate simulator, a program that is an online program. And if they say, ask me a question. So my question would be, what if everybody has an electric car? And she puts all the data in, and people will actually be able to see, in charts and all kinds of things about changes. Students love interactive things like that.
I think everybody likes interactive things like that.
Yeah.
Or otherwise,
yeah.
I mean, guilty as charged. That would be fascinating for me and also for my 6-year-old. I mean,
oh my God, yeah. I just can't tell you how rewarding. In fact, I have pretty darn high standards. and the individuals who have been doing this class are really terrific. So, and I want to tell you a charming and funny thing. So last year, like everyone else, I had to learn to be a Zoom provider. And this year, this class is also going to be on Zoom. We wanted it on live, but things are changing, as you know.
Sure.
And so it's really exciting to learn all of the different ways to support everyone. And also to know the most important thing is those students stay with you. And even if you make a techie mistake, they're still there.
Yes, case in point today. We already had some technical issues today, and hey, we're all here together, right? Awesome. So who is this class designed for? Like, who would be your perfect student to show up and say, I'm in?
Well, I will tell you that it's a continuing education program, so it is for adults, and it's in an area that traditionally has a lot of retired folks. So I would say that this class I designed this class for me, by the way, because guess what? I actually am a typical student. I'm very involved in civics. I really care. I'm a voter. I really care what I vote for.
Sure.
For example, I also am very, very well read. So I don't just see some sources, right? I really like to dig out sources. And by the way, the resource list that we've created for this class, I actually cut it out of the syllabus because it's 5 pages long.
Oh, wow.
And this is the kind of thing that people really, really want too. They want somebody to go in and research and get all the good sources. And that includes, by the way, conservative sources on ideas that somebody might think is progressive. So I'll tell you that the other thing is I have a great responsibility, and I've been working with all of my presenters about this, is we have to understand that we're representing a wide number of people throughout the community. And it's our responsibility to go in and get research sites so that we have, what you might call like the bell curve of sources. And so we are going to do our very best to address all of that.
That's amazing. I am so grateful that you have put together this class. I think I would take it. If I had the time, Tuesday, it's during the afternoon on a Tuesday, so it's a little bit more difficult for me. But what an amazing opportunity to have this class put together with all these dynamic individuals and such a robust set of topics. I mean, I really don't know how you're going to get it done in 5 sections. You're going to have to do a take 2.
One of the other things I want to tell you is that I communicate with the students quite a bit, and I send an email to the students every week, and it has that week's resources. And I talk with people about things that they might be thinking about and ways that they might be prepared. So really taking this class for the students, and I really want to tell you that most of the students very much will relish this. This is exactly, I have heard back from them what they really like. So part of it will say, whoa, this went too fast. And I'm sure that I'm going to get evaluations saying that Tracy, she tried to do too much. But there's so much to talk about.
So much. And wow, I'm intrigued. So tell me like one or two things that would prompt somebody to click, yes, I'm going to take that class. Absolutely. Put them over the hump.
Right. Well, I think that the other thing that some people really want to put them over the hump is that actually, even though we all wish we were live, the other thing about Zoom is when somebody says, well, I have a lot going on, the other thing we could say is this isn't very hard for you to just tune in and to take it in Zoom. So you could have a busy day and you certainly could get to this. I also would say that because the class is so jam-packed, what if you had to miss one of the days? Well, I would take this class if I had to miss one of the days because I wouldn't want to miss the other days. And so there, by having this kind of extraordinary set of individuals also who have done research, I think there's a really big question. And I will tell you, at a class last year, we had a Clark College librarian who actually did a thing on fake news, and what she talked about is how to assess and look at information. As the facilitator of this class, that's one of the things that I am going to talk with the students about. There's just a couple of tips that I learned from a Clark College librarian for people to know to assess things. And that's how I do, by the way, as I am looking at the resources and checking that people have given to me.
Sure. So first of all, you made me eat my words, so thank you very much. Now I have to sign up for the class, apparently. And number two, could you give us one of those fake news tips? Or do we have to wait for the class?
When you look at how a website is written, sometimes there is this thing called EN at the end of up on how you read it. And be very, very wary of that EN. And I should be a good enough student to tell you what it means, but I remember that was something that I would be wary of. Another thing is so common sense, it's just silly that more of us don't do it, which is that you go ahead and click it, but you really look at it and read it with a jaundiced eye. I think what I want to tell you is when I look for materials myself, so let me tell you a really quick example. I am doing a class on critical race theory. Wow, aren't I brave?
Yes, you are.
Also going to have Dr. Rashida Willard of Clark's DEI is going to be speaking with me. So students will hear about Clark's perspective on things. But what I want to tell you is this is a really, really interesting site. And I have found a lot of some information which I believe is really not good information and can tell in terms of checking sources. But at the same time, in giving to the students, I actually have given the students the very first time that critical race theory was mentioned by the American Bar Association, so that students can see what it actually really is, which, by the way, is much less than most people think. And then second, the most important book on the conservative side was written by Richard Delgado. And he is the number one activist who would be against critical race theory. So then it's my job, right, to find both of those things. And also to say, okay, if there's like crazy information, and we know that there's crazy information on all sides, I keep on looking to try to find original sources of people who came up with ideas. So I will say it takes time to do that research. And by the way, I'm retired, so this is my idea of fun, believe it or not, and it is. And that's why I'm just like these other students. One time I said a great way to promote a class in mature learning would be to say, you're going to get so many ideas that your head is going to be spinning. And then people go, wow, that's the class I want.
That's amazing. I love your energy. I'm feeling it from the other side of the screen, and I kind of want to just get up out of my seat, and I don't even know what. I have a lot of energy now. Thank you for reviving my energy.
I'll do it every time.
Well, you have given us so much information, and I don't know why anybody wouldn't take your class, honestly. I mean, there's so many hot topics out there. There's so many this, that, and the other, fake news this, this side versus that side, and a lot of telephone being played in the middle of it, getting
that skewed. And then let me tell you too, so is there anything I didn't mention here?
I don't know.
just am going to tell you real quickly. Believe it or not, I actually found the program coordinator from the Cowlitz Indian tribe to talk about the marginalization and murders of Indigenous women. So you know, it just keeps on getting better and better. And when you say, wait a minute, how are you fitting it all in? Well, resources, right, Amber? Those resources for people to do their work later. And then those lively discussions.
Yes, I think you are an investigative instructor. I'm going to have you an investigative instructor. This is a new thing. It's an old thing, but a new term.
Is it? I love it. Oh, I like that.
I just came up with it, so let's go with it.
Let's go with it. Terry, I like that. That's a good one, and it's alliteration, you know. So that.
And you can also say you're an II.
Yeah, and then there must be. We'll have to think about what that the investigative instructors, and then whatever would be.
Of Clark College right now, so we'll figure out the details later. Well, Tracy, thank you so much for being on today and helping us understand and giving that enthusiasm to your topics. I mean, gosh, it's the hot topics, man. I give you so much credit.
I have a favor for you. You know, I decided to start the class right away. And so this class is starting next Tuesday, September 21st. So students need to hear this message soon so that they will sign up. And can people sign up at the last minute? Yes, they can. Now, one thing we have to tell you is, sure, you could take the class and miss the first class because you found out about it. Of course, administratively, really, the college doesn't have a way to like give you a discount or something like that. It's just the back end of IT is too hard to do.
Yeah.
But students could sign up having heard about it and miss the first class.
Tracy, again, thank you so much for your for coming today and your enthusiasm in this topic, the hot topic of civics. If you want to take this class, and you should want to take this class, it's under Afternoon Academics. You can find it online at cce.clark.edu. If you mark down class or click on classes, you'll find that right there. Or if you don't want to go online, you can call 360-992-2939. Someone will help you register. Also, you'll find any up-to-date information on the classes, the who's, the where's, the when's, the cost, everything you want to know on the website. So if you need the updated information, just go there and you'll be all squared away. Tracy, again, thank you so much for being on today. I look forward to hearing about your class and maybe taking it at some point.
Pretty cool. All right. Thanks a lot, Amber. See you, Care.
Thank you.